Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the So She Slay Show. I'm Heather.
I'm Chauncey. Today we have a special guest, one of our favorite people. We're so excited to have you here. Please introduce yourself.
Well, hi, ladies. I'm Achea Redd. I am so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me on today. I think we've been following each other like on social
It's been
for
a hot
I
second.
mean, a long
yeah,
time. We've been, we're good. We're good friends. We're
yeah.
quite close.
We are like we've been following each other for a while, and I love what you guys do and your platform, and it just so much aligns with what I've been doing for the last few years because I really am big on empowering women to be their best selves. And I wrote Be Free, Be You in 2019. And then I also wrote Authentic You just this November it was released. So it's
Like
Yeah.
brand new.
recently.
So I'm just really in that space of encouraging women to find out who they truly are, um, go on this journey of self-discovery. And I think that they'll have the best life that they could have.
Yeah.
I love that.
Chauncey and I, when you put out your first book, we both got a copy of it, which thank you. But Chauncey and I were talking about it, and I love it because of the fact that not only are the chapters super insightful, but there's like little activities to do
Mhm.
at the end of chapters that really kind of make you focus in on yourself and kind of ask the same questions that you addressed in the chapter, but relate it to you personally. And
Yeah.
I think those are such powerful tools, especially like right after you read a chapter, and then you're just like, okay, well, how do I apply that to my life? And then like having that worksheet or those questions or whatever that you put at the end of each
I
chapter
loved
is
it.
amazing.
I loved it because personally, like, it helped me work on myself while reading the chapter without feeling like I'm working on myself. Like directly, it was like, oh, a little hint to work on yourself. But like the
Little
activity,
nuggets of knowledge.
yes, exactly.
Yes.
Like I was just like, I'm
Yes.
working on myself, but it's also been this really quick activity that's something I just read about, so it's fresh in my mind. And I felt like it was such a great way to like have myself interact more with the book and learn more about myself through each chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the goal. I'm very happy to hear that, you all got that out of the book when you were reading it because when I was writing it, it was very important for me to keep it short and sweet, right? But like I like to tell people with Be Free, Be You, it packs a lot of power in that little bitty book. And it's super, insightful. And I know with me, it doesn't take all day for me to get something. Like once I get it and someone explains to me why I should be getting it, then
Mhm.
I'm ready to like, put it into action. So those little activities, just kind of how my brain thinks. If I am learning something and I am reading a book that doesn't have that, I will go on my computer and actually like jot down notes and I'll highlight and take notes in the margins. And so I wanted to make it easy for the reader so that they would have it there, so that they can just mark it up as they go along.
I wanted to talk about, I mean, we I feel like but you in your books talk about a whole lot of different topics. And one of the topics that we like to address a lot is definitely being a rescuer. And I feel like that word is just so broad. Like,
Yeah.
so much falls under that word.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and let's just talk about what being a rescuer
Please
is.
define it for everyone out there who has not read the book yet. And trust me, you will see yourself in this definition, or you know someone in this definition. So please tell us.
I do see myself honestly as a rescuer. And I think now I'm more on the positive side of what that word rescuer means. Um, but, before I get to all of that, sometimes we as people, but especially as women,
Yes.
we have so many different hats and so many different roles and it could be something like uh, working mom, wife, friend, sister, girlfriend, like all of those things. But then also, what I find is that society likes to place standards and roles and duties. They like to assign those different things to us as women more than anybody else. We have that we shoulder, and so it's hard for women sometimes to come from up under that. And we have a tendency to be overwhelmed with all of those things plus our own stuff. And it's very easy for us to get burnt out and not really attend to our own needs. And so, for the purposes of this book and what I was talking about is, taking care of everybody else without taking care of yourself first. And that is not a good thing, because that can get us in a whole lot of trouble. For me personally, my own mental health story, it landed me, in right smack dab in the middle of a mental health crisis because I was neglecting to take care of myself.
Definitely. I mean, like Chauncey and I said, like, I feel like we both saw either friends of ours that fit into this definition. And again, it's a really broad statement, because especially like in my family, you're kind of taught to think of others before you think of yourself. And I mean, I feel like that's a virtuous thing, but I think for me, myself, I took it too far. And, I started putting way too many people and their needs ahead of my needs, to the point where I mean, Chauncey's been there, where I've had, health crises, breakdowns, laying on my floor, talking to Chauncey, like, I got nothing left. There's nothing left in me.
Honestly, like, we are the same, because I had a breakdown. What was it, last Friday? I'm literally on my way to a doctor's appointment for my physical therapy, and I'm like, I don't know why. And I'm like not trying to cry on the phone with Heather, and also I was like, okay, I'll see you later. And like 4 seconds later, I'm against my wall crying, like the Tony Braxton video, "Unbreak My Heart" status. Like, but I don't know what I was crying about, to be honest with you. I was just so like overwhelmed with like everything, putting other people first before myself. Stress from work, stress from life, stress from anything. And I had a mental little breakdown, but then I realized I had to choose myself. And I actually did go back and read your book again, because I was just like, I gotta get this right, get this together, because you do become a rescue. You think of everyone else first. And like Heather says, like, her and I, like, we're lucky to have such a great friendship, besides being, best friends and co-founders. Like, we have an amazing communication style that helps us not only in business, but our friendship. And we have been on the phone like at 1 o'clock in the morning saying, what do we do? Like, what do we say? Like, how do we act? And it's funny because we both have the most like, it's funny that we're blessed that way, because like if she's having a breakdown, I'm strong, and like vice versa, and it works perfectly because
we just both can't break down at the same time.
No, I can't do that. Like, we're not ready for that yet. So maybe make another book about that. How if both of you break down, what do you do? Because I would love to read that.
As you were talking, I'm thinking about how, I mean, I was listening, okay, so I wasn't daydreaming.
We multitask all the time. Girl, go for it.
Let that be said. I was listening to you, but
I know you were. You're so good to me.
I was thinking about how I handle that kind of a situation. And what I had to learn is that like if I look at myself as a person, I look at myself as like, let's just say me, my body, it's a cup, okay? It's a cup, okay? And everything that I have inside of my cup is for me. Everything else that overflows out of my cup is for everybody else.
Ain't that a spiritual truth? Like, I love that.
I've learned that I can't give people what's inside of my cup, because then I start to deplete. So they have to get the overflow. And that makes me be very intentional about making sure that I am giving myself the absolute best time that I need, every single thing, that I'm just like tuning into myself. That is just something that I've always, well, not always, but that I've just recently started to envision, especially, with COVID. Before COVID, I was very, very busy. And I think that I was starting to neglect myself.
It's easy to do. It's such an easy thing to fall into. And to talk about, being a rescuer to everyone else and then neglecting yourself, I think it's a plague among many, many people. I mean, women are hit hard, but yes, there are, men who feel the same way. I feel like it's everybody. It's an easy thing to fall into. How do you recognize, I guess those behaviors in yourself when you start putting other people in front of you? Because I think a lot of people don't realize when it's happening, only
Right.
like after the fact.
I think really the number one way you can tell is you just start to feel extremely burnt out,
Yes.
like mentally spent, emotionally spent. Um, and even more practical than that is what I notice with myself is when I have been mentally drained, I start to notice that when people are talking to me, everything literally sounds like want, 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 want,
Yes.
want, want.
Charlie Brown.
Like,
Yes.
like it literally sounds like a bunch of like muffled words. And
Mhm.
I can't make sense of what they're saying because like my mind is so tired. So just
Mhm.
everyday tasks start to become big deals. Like, oh my gosh, like I've got this lunch. I don't feel like going to this lunch. I start
Mhm.
canceling plans, like, because I don't have it to give.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's just one of, a couple ways that I think, you just start to see like yourself, trying to withdraw and retreat. And that's really your
Mhm.
body telling you like you need that. But most
Mhm.
of us kind of go past that threshold and then we end up in
Mhm.
trouble.
How do you know personally when you're given too much? Because I feel like you and I both, we notice it when we start getting to that burnout line. It's
Oh
like
gosh.
it's very rarely that we are, I mean, I think we've gotten better at like not crossing it, but we still like, we at
Yeah.
least touch it.
Okay. So yeah, like, we were touching it real close the past couple days because in the previous months I've been stressed, I've learned to like just recoup and take care of me. And my mantra has always been since, especially since I turned 30, me first. Me first.
Mm,
Like, and that's not being selfish, that's not being anything, rude or toxic, but it's okay to take care of you as a person first because if you don't, you can't be there for everyone else. Like I am known for doing everything for everyone else and
Mhm.
overdoing myself. But now I'm just like, no, me first. Like if I can't do it,
Yeah.
we can't do
can't
it.
do
And
it.
like Heather, like how do you do this? Because I think I for sure I've known Heather for ever now,
Too
and
long.
Heather has really shown us you have to shut things down. Like before
Yeah.
I met her, she's always on the run, but now she's like, no, I
Well,
want to
you
watch
can thank
Netflix.
COVID because that was like that forced people, including myself, to slow down. Like, I didn't realize how fast I was moving until
Mhm.
I was not moving
Yeah.
anymore, and I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
who does that?" So it'll be
Whew.
interesting to kind of see what life gets back to, and if I got the stamina to keep up like I used to.
Woo.
No, but you can't. I feel like with COVID has helped you like realize that you can take breaks. Like I think for COVID has like I know it's sad for people and everything, but for I feel like for you and I, we really slowed down to realize what's important to us, like what our body can handle, like all the
Yeah.
stuff that you need to grow as an individual, especially as a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for rescuers, I mean, I think there's even more now too. Even during COVID, I feel like people are taking on, maybe it's not work stress, but it's like that emotional mental stress of other
Oh yeah.
people. Like, I
Ugh,
mean, I know that there's people that, call because all three of us are very strong individuals on this call, and people like to talk to you and to get
Oh
advice and to let things out and vent, and but
yes.
that itself takes so much out
yes.
of you. I mean, there are times where I'm looking at the phone and I said, I can't. Like, I choose me. I can't give it to you today.
Not today,
Yeah.
Satan. Not today.
So I guess what are some tips people can take away to maybe help instill those boundaries and not feel guilty?
I mean, the not feeling guilty part is actually, something that's their work, right? I mean, that's just
Hmm.
something that it's one of those things where you have to value yourself enough to just say there's nothing to feel guilty of. If you think about the definition of what guilt is, it's when you've done something illegal, immoral, just
Wrong.
wrong. And that, so that is a wasted emotion when you're just trying to take care of yourself, is what I say.
Yeah.
And so we have to divorce ourselves from what we should be doing. And,
Should.
Yeah, the
Should.
shoulds.
Yes.
And I think just really, like you said, not picking up the phone sometimes. I mean, it's really, I mean, seriously,
It's
y'all,
the
it's
truth.
really some simple stuff, but
Simple.
it's just, you know, not picking up the phone sometimes. Um, when you lay down, you know, to rest at night, or you want to watch a movie or something, you're not looking at your phone texting while you're doing it. You know, the phone goes up. Um, you eat a meal without looking at your phone. Those emails can wait. Those
So
text
right.
messages can wait. Ain't nobody's dying. If you really need me, like, you can call me.
Yeah, and
And
you're so right, because as I know as myself, like I'll be watching a movie that I'm like, oh, I really want to watch this Netflix movie, but I'm like texting at the same time or checking emails or on Instagram, and I'm like playing my little friends. I'm like, sometimes the little friends, like your little friends can wait. Like you just need to watch TV and actually watch it. And like Heather said, not answering the phone. And honestly, like that is true. Like you don't have to answer the phone if it's super important. They can leave a voicemail.
yeah,
And luckily iPhone can describe it for you, so you can like, oh, okay, these are big words I need to pay attention to. But you don't have to
right,
like, you
right.
don't have to like answer every phone call. You can't be everything for everyone at all times.
So we're talking about personally, like friends and family and that kind of relationships. But I know that there are the women out there, and I'm speaking upon experience here. They're the women who try to save dudes. Like you trying to rescue them and help them
Same.
out of their lives or their whatevers. And let me tell you, I'm proud to say I'm no longer that person. Don't talk
I'm
to me.
look,
Like,
proud to say I'm recovering from this. So
you're a
yes,
recovering saver. I don't ain't nobody
cannot
trying to
do that
save you.
again.
You
I
go
can't
save
claim you
yourself.
on tax. I can't claim you on taxes. So why am
I'm
I
so
trying to save
proud.
you?
I'm so proud of you guys.
Thank you.
I I really am. I'm so
Thank
proud. You
you.
know what? Y'all are very, very patient people. I try to save everybody else, but I don't mess around with men.
You
Like,
smart.
if you
Smart.
are if you are over the age of 18 and no longer require a guardian to sign anything for you, ain't nothing I can do for you.
Oh God, like honestly, it took me forever to figure that out, because in my job world, I have patience. In my reality world, I have no patience. Everyone knows me. I'm a work in progress. Okay, I know myself. But when it comes to like, I know myself. But when it comes to men, like I would be like, oh well, yeah, like he's not. I have like it's always an excuse like this. But I'm not doing that anymore, because I can't claim you on my insurance. If I could claim people on my insurance, or no, sorry, my taxes, I will be a millionaire by now. Because
Mm.
I'm dealing with antics on my phone, antics, and I'm not saving you. Like I am not. I'm not Captain Save a Ho.
I can't do it. I don't have the patience for it. And
No.
I don't believe that you can build a relationship off of potential. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Like,
That's right.
I
That's
love
you
it.
shouldn't be
I
sorry off
love
of
it.
that.
Like I love how you said that, because that's what we all go in relationships for. Like, oh well, I know he or she could be better because he has all these or she has all these things, and I'm known to do that. Heather knows that.
I'm known to okay, we both did it. It
We've
took me
both
a
done like
hot second to
yes.
not do that anymore.
I'm not doing that. Like, especially
yeah.
with quarantine, I'm like, oh, you are so funny. You are so funny. Because I know for a fact, if I met you out in the real world, not like online dating, you would never talk to me, because I look like the
Mm.
person. But no, potential is Toodles. I'm not doing potential. Like me first.
No.
But no, like
Mm-mm.
I love how did you get there? Because I just want to know, how did you get there? I don't know how I got there. Fed up.
You
Heather,
know what I think?
fed up.
You know, in many ways, being born with hardly any patience, it's what has saved me.
Yeah.
I love that. Because
See, I don't
I
know
get
what it
it.
is. Like I have no patience, okay? Like my I have
No.
that's a virtue I daily like work on.
I don't
But
have
for
any.
some reason, man.
I have
I mean,
you can't, because I practice every morning. I do my affirmations. I'm like, I practice patience. I choose patience today.
I have always been the type where I'm like, you guys, like, y'all are y'all are good, you know, on your own, and you know, like you got it going on and all this kind of stuff. Like I I guess I just never felt like it was worth a relationship if I like have to come in and like, you know, save you. And like I just I've never had that desire.
Yes, and
And it
people
all
wonder.
goes back to those boundaries, those simple boundaries of just
Yeah.
Yes,
saying no. And you cannot feel guilty for not trying to save someone or be there for someone or whatever, especially if you are having those thoughts in your head where you're just like, I'm tired, I'm drained, I'm
Yeah.
close to tears. I've been working, 5 straight days, no
Yes.
breaks, I'm taking care of my family. Like
Yes.
everybody has to have those lines and those boundaries where they don't feel guilty and they don't feel like, they have to scoot aside 5
Yeah.
million things that happen in their lives in order to make room for you. That's not how this works.
Right.
And any sort of relationship, family, personal, friends, all of that stuff, I feel like the people who truly care about you and who really know that, like, okay, you're just busy or you have some things going on, or I'll get to you when I can get to you. A lot of times I do
Yeah.
have friends that, like, I love them to pieces, but they do require a lot out of me.
Yes.
And that
yes,
doesn't mean that I hate them, doesn't mean that I don't like them or I don't love them or whatever. I love the shit out of the people I keep around me, but there are some times where I can't.
Yeah.
I myself am drained and I can't.
I can't.
So there's no reason to feel upset. What I always do is I always send them a text message. Hey, I'm sorry I missed your call. Lots is going on right now. I'm gonna call you.
Just today, actually, I had a practice what we're talking about. I had a writing
Oh,
session today, and just working, you know, on another manuscript. And
yay!
I, right, I like pop them out, don't
You
I?
better, you gotta keep that money going.
but
Keep going.
but anyways, I, you know, and I had a writing session, and the writing session was intense, and there were a lot of things that I talked about that I and I'm working through all of these things and on paper, and I'm, you know, and so my mind is like just so weighed down, not in a bad way. But I was supposed to go and meet a friend for lunch. And I literally, like, an hour before we were supposed to meet, I said, hey, I said, listen, I said, I just got out of a writing session. I said, I am mentally exhausted. I need to breathe for a couple hours before I go pick my kids up from school. There
Hmm.
is no way that I can sit down and talk to you and brainstorm about anything that you want to do together. I said, I literally will be a zombie. And
Hmm.
when this goes back to what you said, I think earlier, I think it was you, Chauncey. I don't know.
I
But
said a lot of stuff, so
well,
I
I was just going to say, and
said
maybe
a lot
you
of
said it,
shit.
Heather, like when you're looked at like a well for people that they come to when they need refreshed or when they need some inspiration, and you always have to provide the answer.
Hmm.
uh who do you go to for your answer?
Right?
That, see, that's true. Like,
So
who do you go? Who can I run to? Basically.
Who replenishes your own well?
Oh, you're
we are
fine.
actually strong enough, us, you know, and some other people too, you know, some people have that inner capability to where they're able to replenish their own. Not everybody that's a gift.
That
That's true.
that's such an interesting. I don't think I've ever heard somebody actually point it out like that
Yeah.
before, because I think because my friends and the people that I surround myself mostly with that are super close, they're strong enough to replenish themselves. I
Yeah.
know Chauncey's like, that's me. That's me.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, that is so interesting. I had
No,
never thought of
I've
it
never
like
thought about
that.
that because
Yeah.
we look at ourselves like as people that people can trust and people can talk to,
Yeah.
and they feel safe with us. Like, I know, like, I'm the person you can talk to, you feel safe with, and I'll try. I'm the friend who'll give you advice, but I'll make you laugh at the same time because I have
Yeah.
no type of sense whatsoever. But I will make you laugh, but also give
Yeah.
you and be there and that shoulder for you, just like Heather's. Like, she's has been a rock for me over the years. But I realized the reason why we're able to do that, like you said, because we are those people that can take care of ourselves. And yes, there's times that I will look to, Heather, other friends, or my mom, or my parents, or my sister, like, hey, I need to talk about something, because Heather knows this. I don't talk about anything until I'm really ready. I need to talk to someone about it, because that means I can't hold it in anymore. But
Yeah.
the thing is, I know that I am a safe space for myself, that I trust myself. But that makes sense why people can trust us, because we trust ourselves to be that for our own selves if needed.
Hey,
Book.
listen, you know what? I'm just like these lessons that I'm learning right now. I mean, I'd like to thank COVID for a lot of it, because it's really given me a moment to pause, and I've been forced to just take a seat. Um, and now I'm starting to get a little busier, and I'm terrified because I'm like, oh,
Right.
am I ready? Am I ready? Are
It's
there
that
there
stamina question
there
again.
there are more are there more lessons I need to learn first? Like, I don't want to revert back to what I used to be, because honestly, when I look at me now and me pre-COVID, I'm gonna be really honest. To a lot of people, they love me and they would probably say, "Oh my God, you're crazy." Me pre-COVID and me now is two totally different people. And I was a hot ass mess.
Hey.
1.5 books in all, still working through it, because like I say, recovery is not linear. There are peaks and
No.
valleys, and I had a lot of valleys.
I think that's a testament to people to know that, like, it's never all figured out. You're
Yeah.
constantly still learning. You're even when you know better and you want to do better, sometimes it takes the other people, or it takes a burnout for you to be like, damn it, I did it
Or
again. Like,
I
I
did it
need to
again.
stop.
oops, I did it
Yes.
again. Like, it felt like a trigger. Like, there's triggers. Like, I always say, I'm a big advocate for therapy. I'm an advocate for like writing things down, because there's things that trigger you. Like, I was triggered recently, and I didn't think it would be a trigger for me, because I've dealt with this for like something for like a long time. But it triggered me that my anxiety was horrible. But I had really bad anxiety, but like it triggered me, and I was like, okay, I need to start going back to therapy, because this is bigger than me. It's just something I just can't shut down.
To wrap this up a little bit, we just kind of got done talking about protocols and like maybe our individual protocols. If you're someone who is new to this, how do we set up our own protocols?
I mean, I think finding somebody to talk to. I think that there doesn't have to be a crisis for you to find somebody to talk to. And I think that, you owe it to your family members and to your friends to stop, talking to them about these things all the time, and actually go, no, seriously, and go hire someone that is actually in their pay grade to
Yes.
help you, with
Qualified,
these
very
things.
qualified.
Right. And it, yeah. So I think finding somebody to talk to, obviously. I think learning how to flex your muscles and learning how to figure things out on your own and work through it. And if there is an underlying issue that you need to attend to and you need to take medication, then that's the next step. And then you move forward. And just little by little, you start to add things, like we always say, like getting out in nature, exercise, movement, hydrating yourself. Like all of that affects the chemicals in your brain. So there are all these little things to do. But I think first and foremost, we need to get it out, express what it is that we've been bottling up on the inside, and then we can go from there.
I love
I don't
that.
know. I think for me, I mean, definitely therapy has been great for me. And I think a lot of people don't realize that therapy can come in all different, you know, times. It doesn't have to be a consistent thing. Sometimes it's when something happens, when you don't know how to deal with something in particular. I am that type of a person where I don't go all the time, but if there are certain things that arise that I'm just like, I don't know how to deal with this, like in a healthy way, then I go and I ask how I deal with this in a healthy way.
Yeah.
So there's definitely that type of therapy too. You don't have to go, you know, every week
No.
or whatever.
A check-in.
It's a
Yes.
check-in, you know, it's just a check-in, make
spruce.
sure, yeah, a little tune up. But
I love a tune-up with
I
those people.
think for protocols, it's the just being okay with choosing yourself, being honest with the people who are calling you to, you know, vent or get whatever out of you or
Yes.
whatnot, to just be like, I don't have it in me today. You can acknowledge, you don't have to ghost people, but you can acknowledge the fact that they're trying to get a hold of you. And you can be like, I'm just really, there's a lot going on right now. Most people, especially if they're your friends and they feel comfortable enough talking to you about anything and everything, they're gonna understand that. So those are my two things: realizing when you need help with something and you're overwhelmed, and instilling the non-guilty actions of not picking up your phone, replying to an email or text messages, and just saying, look, I can't right now. I'm gonna hit you back when I got the time and the energy to like do this. And most people will be very responsive with that.
Very true. Just like protect your energy, like stay away from energy suckers, because they will sap your energy, and you have to, you know, take care of your own mental health at the end of the day and figure out your protocol, figure out your triggers. But like I said, therapy, even like if you're not going every week or anything, just a check in like every couple of months to see how you're doing is good. Like just to know that there's progress being made, because we're always a work in progress. We're not going to be fixed with one therapy session or like 25 therapy sessions. It's not going to happen overnight. Like it just gives you the tools to make sure that you're communicating healthy, living healthier, and, you know, just getting to know yourself as an individual. But yeah, just I think to take the right steps to really work on your own mental health, because you're not going to be okay for other people if you're not good with yourself. And honestly, like I love how honest this conversation was, because like I said, not even like 15 years ago, this was not a conversation to have. And especially for women, especially women of color, to really speak about our mental health and be okay talking about it on a platform, not just for us, but for our other communities. Like, and I think especially the past like 5 years has been really advocating for people to really speak their truth, especially women of color, to talk about like, I'm not okay and I want to fix myself, but not just fix myself, but fix others around me. So I know that we can all be a support system for each other. So like I said, like you just, in my mantra, me first, because you play me, you play yourself, and I refuse to get played this year.
Okay, so to wrap this up, thank you so much for joining us. I feel like we've talked a lot about a lot of different things, but I think it all falls under this whole rescuer syndrome that I think everybody deals with at one point in time. So until next time, Slay Nation, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.